And breaking news coming in. This is a CNN News 18 mega exclusive, ladies and gentlemen, brought to us by our investigations editor Manoj Gupta. China appoints a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan. China becomes the first country to appoint a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan since the fall of Kabul in August 2021. China is all set for big investments and expanding the BRI into Afghanistan. Earlier, CNN News 18 reported exclusively about Chinese visits to Kabul and meetings with the top leadership, including Sirajuddin and others. CNN News 18 first reported on a lithium exploration deal with Afghanistan as well. So CNN News 18 on top of the latest developments when it comes to China's expansion into Afghanistan. And what we are getting, the big piece of breaking news that's coming in, is that China has appointed a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan, and China becomes the first country to appoint a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan since the fall of Kabul in August 2021. That's the big piece of breaking news that's coming in when it comes to China's diplomatic and economic power play in the region, ladies and gentlemen. China expanding the entire Belt and Road initiative into Afghanistan, and now in pursuit of that, China has appointed a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan. It is the first country to appoint a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan as China eyes big investments and expanding the Belt and Road initiative into Afghanistan. So as many countries try to kind of clear out their entire diplomatic strategy with Afghanistan, China has gone ahead with its mission to expand the Belt and Road initiative, and it is planning big investments in Afghanistan. And in pursuit of that, what we are learning is that China has become the first country to appoint a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan since the fall of Kabul in August 2021. That's the big piece of breaking news that's coming in. China expanding its economic and diplomatic game plan in the region by going full hog into Afghanistan, by trying to push its entire agenda into Afghanistan. And now what we are learning is that a full-time ambassador has been appointed by the Chinese government in Afghanistan as it tries to expand its entire economic dimension in the country. It's all set for big investments as well as expanding the Belt and Road initiative into Afghanistan. CNN News 18 had reported exclusively about Chinese visits to Kabul and meetings with the top leadership, including Sirajuddin and others. And also what we are learning is that a lithium exploration deal was also explored between the government in Kabul as well as the government in Beijing. And that push is coming in from the Chinese government as it tries to expand its influential footprint in Asia, be it diplomatically as well as economically. And in pursuit of that, as I was pointing out, now China has appointed a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan. So that's the big piece of breaking news that's coming in. These are details brought to us by our investigations editor Manoj Gupta. A big step from China into Afghanistan when it comes to the entire pursuit of China to expand its diplomatic and economic clout in Asia. And also this comes right on the heels of the big announcement at the G20 summit where India, the Middle East as well as the European Union are planning to build a massive economic corridor to expand connectivity in the region. So this has been seen as a direct counter to China's Belt and Road initiative. And now what we are learning is that the big piece of breaking news that's coming in is that China has appointed a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan. That's the big piece of news coming in, where China has become the first country to appoint a full-time ambassador to Afghanistan. So China going full steam ahead with its plan to expand its economic clout and diplomatic clout in Asia as a counter to India's rising clout, as we have seen in the G20 summit, where that historic announcement of an economic corridor between India, the Middle East and the European Union was made. And China now reacting by expanding its diplomatic credentials within Afghanistan by appointing a full-time ambassador. I'm joined by my colleague Anand Narasimhan on the broadcast. Anand, can we divorce this development from India's big announcement of an economic corridor with the Middle East and the European Union?
Well, both need not be seen in conjunction, but what needs to be seen is that China has made its intent very, very clear. China was one of the first movers using Pakistan as a proxy to move into Afghanistan. And here at CNN News 18, we have time and again very clearly outlined that China is trying to engage with the Taliban very clearly. One of the main reasons why they are trying to engage with the Taliban is that they want to keep the ETIM, East Turkestan independence movement, their elements out of the new territory or Xinjiang. And that's the reason why they are trying to engage with the Taliban. So once that assurance is there, the other main important aspect is they want to stretch the Belt and Road Initiative into Afghanistan, because that entire road has to lead to the Gwadar port, and somewhere they want control of the roadways and also use Afghanistan's rare earth mineral deposit, which both Russia and America were never able to touch. They want to touch that. The lithium deposits in Afghanistan and also many other rare earth minerals, including copper, etc., is important for China's semiconductor business, and also to fuel all that is being planned, the entire foundries and all of that is being planned along the entire Belt and Road, the long route. So there are many reasons why Afghanistan was being coveted by China, and this is not a new phenomena. Even at the time when Russia and America were fighting for a place or a toehold in Afghanistan, China always had its interests. Let's not forget, America may have moved away from Pakistan, but China had always, despite naming America as one of its biggest adversaries, had always engaged with Pakistan, and now using Pakistan, it's tried to engage with Afghanistan, and now it seems to have dumped even Pakistan and directly engaging with the Taliban. The other significant aspect is China becomes the first of the UNSC nations, the 5 nations with the veto power, to officially recognize this Taliban government by setting up their full-time embassy. So far, none of the nations had done that. And particularly the West and America, it is trying to cock and snook in their face and say, listen, we are going to go ahead and do what is in our interest. If you are going to pursue your interests, we've got our rights to, and we don't care who's in power in Afghanistan, as long as it serves our ends and our goals. And that seems to be the message that President Xi Jinping is very clearly saying. All right, you want to go and create and engage with India, you want to continue to keep the existing world order in place. We are going to push through our new world order. India or no India, America or no America, Pakistan or no Pakistan, we need Afghanistan. We are going to go ahead and engage with Afghanistan. We're going to push through our own corridors. Will this have an impact on the economic corridor that we are planning? It doesn't directly have an impact, but Afghanistan has always been friendly with India. It's the people-to-people connect. It's not even an economic connect. We are the nation that helped them in distress. We are the nation that helped them in COVID. We are the nation that continues to engage with them at a people-to-people level, despite officially never recognizing the Taliban establishment. So that equation, that dynamic is different. So each nation is going to play to its strengths and based on what their blueprint is. China, or the CCP's blueprint, I would not even say China, the CCP's blueprint emerges from Mao Zedong's vision in 1949, and that of trying to build the glory of China as it was perhaps in the 13th century, and it spread. That is exactly what they want at this point, Ayushman, and to our viewers, and they are going to pursue that vision, and that vision was the one that entailed the palm and the 5 fingers, and it also looked at this region to try and encapsulate and try and perhaps have global domination, because Afghanistan and Belt and Road into Afghanistan gives them roads, and they've just struck a $100 billion deal with Iran, and with the eye on that Gwadar port, and to try and build railroads between and transnational routes between Iran, Afghanistan, and directly linking them through to China. And how are they doing it? They have now got an engagement with the Tajikistan, and there is that entire corridor, that corridor of 170, a thin corridor that will allow China to directly connect itself with Afghanistan, and this is north of the Gilgit-Baltistan region. One of the reasons why the Chinese continue to occupy, and they were coveting that Aksai Chin area and the Gilgit-Baltistan area, is not just because of the CPEC corridor, but of course CPEC that they are building, but also because of the corridor right between Gilgit-Baltistan and Tajikistan on that side, Afghanistan here, and Xinjiang and the new territory here. So that corridor of 140 odd kilometers is what will directly connect Xinjiang with Afghanistan, and they want to continue to control that corridor.